I'd like to apologize for some technical difficulties we've been having here in the studio. But we have already kicked off the game here between Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets and the Purple Raiders of the University of Mount Union. This being the fourth Ohio Athletic Conference clash for both of the teams involved. Coming into the game with a similar record of 1-2, and both teams probably eager to get that record up to 500. It's been nippy in the early exchanges here between both teams as we see Baldwin Wallace take a long throw in, which gives the goalkeeper a bit of a problem, but he picks it up in the box and is able to get his team forward now. But just some notable changes in terms of the home team on the field. We see number 2, Joey Rini, the freshman, starting tonight, seemingly in midfield, having only played 4 games on the season. So it's interesting to see what his confidence will be like here in his OAC debut. But the Purple Raiders with a chance to get a shot off in the box. But one of the other changes I had planned to talk about actually in the team is that we see Captain Zach Smith playing in an advanced role this evening in midfield, with JT Tabernek moving inside to play in that center back position alongside Adam Grove. So in a new look BW midfield, which includes himself, Zach Smith, and Brayton Thornburg, another freshman. Jeremy Faust also coming into the team up front to play in between the sophomore duo of Brian Spossit and Justin Heron. So somewhat of a new look front field for BW, maybe front 2/3 if you may. And it's interesting to see how they will perform. Anything in particular that stood out in terms of statistics for the away team, Dre?
Well, first and foremost, we have 2 guys locked at 3 goals on the year, which lead the Mount Union Purple Raiders, and that's first number 10, Johnny Ackendype, and Jesse Tinney, both respectively sophomores. Johnny Ackendype is a forward, and Jesse Tinney is a midfielder for the Purple Raiders. And in 8 games, that's when Ackendype has scored these 3 goals. This team is a team that hasn't got a lot of shots on goal this year, but nevertheless, when they do, those are the guys to look for. And besides that, the leading assist guy is Mitchell Tia, number 3, the senior forward out of for the Purple Raiders. So a little bit of veteran experience for this team, and that's what you got to look forward to. And I think for them tonight, they just need to focus on getting as many shots on goal as possible.
Yeah, I think that the Purple Raiders would benefit from just showing some attacking prowess, especially early on here. They'd want to get their foot on the ball and take some shots at the senior goalkeeper, Zach Haynes, just to let him know that they're there, as we see them coming forward on the attack now through their number 5, Carter Dunn. However, there's an offside ruling on Mitchell Tia, the player that you just spoke about, leading the Purple Raiders in assists and would be looking to get some more here tonight. Some interesting statistics about the home team. As we see, they have 4 top goal scorers in the team this season, just to show that their goals coming from all over. However, it must be noted that Top points getter Craig Wallace with 3 goals and 1 assist does not start here this evening, although he is present on the bench. So that's a notable omission for BW. Maybe just going with a change in style to begin the game here. I'm sure we'll see Craig introduced at some point in time. However, also, out of those co-goal scorers, we see no stat for none of those players stat actually here tonight. Patrick O'Malley, I regrettably want to inform you, may be out for the season with a punctured eye socket. It was a home game here where we saw him go down in the 18-yard box, and it didn't look as serious when it first happened, but that was deemed to have been a punctured eye socket, and he may miss the rest of the season here. That's a big loss for the Yellow Jackets, with him having 3 goals on the season coming out of midfield.
Yeah, huge loss for them on a team that is already very young in their own regard. But this is a team now that, looking to take a different approach and maybe get a spark midway through the year.
Yeah, but maybe something to look forward to in the second half, maybe even late in the first half here also. Seeing as they have 3 strikers on the bench on 3 goals. Craig Wallace, Jack Shirley, and Ryan Hassel. So they will be eager to come into the game and prove that maybe they should be there from the start. So interesting to see how this game plays out. About 10 minutes gone here at Tressel Field, and no team really has a clear advantage in terms of possession. The ball just being nipped around the field, some good soccer being played, but nothing exceptional in terms of offense. So still interested to see who gets the first goal here today this evening. As we see Captain Zach Smith just playing in his advanced role and enjoying it here this evening. I've noticed he's made 4 out of 4 successful passes. And Baldwin Wallace now gained the first corner kick of the game here with 10 minutes transpired in the first half. Brayton Thornburg to take this corner, the freshman. Mount Union is able to clear, but on this foul is Justin Heron as he takes the safe route going back to Captain Adam Grove, who looks to serve it back into the area, but it is somewhat wayward as it is picked up by the goalkeeper for Mount Union Purple Raiders, Dylan Lias, who now clears. Baldwin is doing well to trap the Purple Raiders in the corner and squeeze the ball out of them. As a misplaced pass by Adam Grove gives the Purple Raiders a throw-in at halfline. A foul by Luke Westcamp. Just one of those awkward ones where the player was going around him and he tried to get his body in the way. Ended up taking down the player, and a foul, I think, but no further repercussions in my eyes, and the referee seems to see it the same way.
Although you heard the fans, I don't think they really agreed out there, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, some moans from the away fans, but that's typical.
Mm-hmm.
Early on they're trying to sway the referee in their favor. decent free kick routine there by the Purple Raiders. Didn't necessarily work out on that occasion, but the Yellow Jackets will want to be wary of that play. Mount Union just somewhat working themselves into the game, starting off with a lot of the ball being played in the middle of the field and in their defensive third, but now in the past 3 minutes or so, they've been able to get a better look at the Baldwin Wallace custodian in Zach Haynes and tested him once or twice. So both teams enjoying periods of attack here at the beginning of the game. And I think we'll see much of the same in this encounter, one that looks to be very evenly matched. Both teams coming in with the same OAC record. Records slightly different in general, but that could be due to, you know, the opponents that both teams have faced, with Baldwin Wallace being 4-8-2, and the University of Mount Union being 6-4-1.
And that's just it. When it comes to conference play, especially in the OAC, where it tends to get really competitive, you're going to have teams, that are fairly matched going at it, and both teams look to crack this one open with a goal, and it would benefit either one with both, like as you mentioned, 1-2 records in conference play so far. So it's honestly a pretty big game for both teams.
A shot there by the number 19, Scotty Welker, the sophomore forward from Solon, Ohio. Just not exactly testing goalkeeper Zach Haynes, but giving him something to think about, as we hadn't seen a real threat on goal before that, really. Still no team really bossing possession as yet, but definitely have a decent game in our hands. Baldwin Wallace with a chance to break. Justin Heron looks to cut in and can't find his feet, as I think he attempted to play a pass wide to his teammate Jeremy Faust. Baldwin Wallace just attempting to play more of a passing game now, as we see them switching the ball from side to side, looking to open up this Purple Raiders defense. Attempted ball there by the freshman center back, JT Fabernac. Just cut out by that Purple Raiders defense, who have done well so far to hold their line and not allow the quickness of the Baldwin Wallace front line to disturb them. As we've seen a few attempted through passes from the Baldwin Wallace midfield just go wayward and run through to the goalkeeper. So Baldwin Wallace just maybe need to be a little bit more clinical in terms of passing in that final third area.
Yeah, both teams honestly looking very conservative out there, but there is a lot of time left, and I don't think any team right now wants to take a chance that goes against them.
Yeah, I think both teams just still taking this opportunity to feel each other out and develop their thoughts on how they think this game should be played. And I think both managers, um, not necessarily enjoying, but they wouldn't mind this bit of nippy play here in the early encounters with just about 20 minutes having elapsed in the first half. I think they wouldn't mind it, just a chance to figure out what type of tactics each other are coming into the game with. And if you're just joining us, we're live at Tressel Field within the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University. And we have an Ohio Athletic Conference game for you here this evening. It is your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets versus the University of Mount Union Purple Raiders. With 20 minutes gone in the first half here, it is 0-0. It must be noted that even with getting almost the halfway point of this first half here this evening, that neither of these teams had any real opportunity on goal. No clear-cut chances in the early encounters. Another chance goes a begging for the Purple Raiders there with one of their front men, Mitchell Tia, just striking the ball slightly high of the BW custodian Zach Haynes' goal.
And so far, I mean, not a lot of activity has gone on. Not a lot of exciting activity, I should say, has gone on. But nevertheless, this lineup change has certainly not backfired so far in this one. And I think it honestly is a fresh start because it allows for the scorers on the bench to come out with fresh legs later on.
As we see a shot there from Justin Heron going just wide of goalkeeper Dylan Leas's goal, and he will be screaming at his defenders to be wary of letting those type of balls through, and letting Baldwin Wallace have those type of opportunities. But yeah, I think we're about to see the effect of this lineup change with Baldwin Wallace looking to introduce what it looks to me like three new strikers. I was going to mention the fact that the lineup changes definitely seem to work out in the midfield area, as I think they're playing less defensive than usual. Usually playing with two more defensive-minded midfielders generally, but playing with three midfielders that I think prefer to attack here tonight, as we see Baldwin Wallace with a free kick here, a chance to serve the ball into the box and maybe get a head on it. Brayton Thornburg serves it in. Comes back out to Luke Westcamp, who has a shot just very high and wide, as I think he just hit that rather half-heartedly. But here comes the change with Baldwin Wallace bringing in Nicholas Bernard, Ryan Hassel, and Aaron Harden as we see the exit of Justin Heron, Brian Sposett, and Jeremy Faust. With about 22 minutes to go here in the first half of this encounter between your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets and the Purple Raiders of the University of Mount Union. Looks like a good battle developing here between the number 3 Mitchell Tia of the Purple Raiders and JT Tomanek, the freshman center back of the Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets. Mount Union on the attack, stuffed by Adam Grove. On his way to goal was Carter Dunn on that play. Oh, the BW attacking 3 are getting their first touches. Oh, and it's an attempted cross by Ryan Hassel. I think attempted for Aaron Harden. Just cut out by Joey Rini there, as he thought maybe he was in a better position to get a shot on goal. But the Purple Raiders eventually clear for a throw-in to be taken by David Elson.
Obviously, you see, though, this lineup change has created a spark in the attacking play for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, that was a beautiful attack that they just put together there en route to that chance at goal. Unfortunate that maybe Aaron Harden just didn't shout out to Rini to let him know that he had a better scoring opportunity. We see now the introduction of number 14, Colton Hash, for the University of Mount Union Purple Raiders, along with number 6, Ian Moorhead, 2 freshman midfielders. So just a change, maybe to deal with that pressure that I was talking about of that very attacking Baldwin Wallace midfield here this evening. Tonight, we're also expecting to get an interview from Baldwin Wallace assistant coach Vince Milner at some point in time. Maybe we'll get an opportunity to ask him some questions pertaining to some injury worries for Baldwin Wallace, specifically speaking about Patrick O'Malley and another player who is noticeably missing from the Baldwin Wallace team sheet tonight, Garrett McHugh, who I am being told may also be out for the season. So it'll be interesting to see what the assistant coach, Vince Milner, has to say about these situations and whatever else comes to mind, really, when he gets into the studio here this evening. Because I think that will be sometime soon.
Yeah, and that's at least an opportunity for everyone to be caught up to speed regarding those players and just what the future holds for the remainder of the season for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to speaking with him in a little bit here. And that's a foul on number 23, Brendan Lobering, fouling Aaron Harden, the recently introduced senior forward for Baldwin Wallace. So now a chance for Brayton Thornburg to maybe serve that ball into his left foot, but he chooses not to. Goes wide to Luke Westcamp, whose attempted cross is deflected for another corner kick, the second one of the game, to the Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets.
And now with 17 minutes to go in this first half, this could be a prime opportunity for the Yellow Jackets to now take that advantage in this game that has been very close thus far.
Yeah, Baldwin Wallace, as Brayton serves it in, and it's eventually gathered by goalkeeper Dylan Leas, but was a loose ball for a second. I think maybe JT Tabanek getting the original header on it and putting the goalkeeper under some pressure, which he is able to cope with. Shot here, the first one of the night for senior midfielder tonight, Zach Smith, as he does have a rifle for a right leg. We witnessed it many times last season, and maybe one of the reasons behind 14th season coach Reed Ayers' decision to play him in midfield tonight.
And as Dario mentioned before, assistant coach Vince Milner will be with us momentarily to discuss the team and just the status of some of the players. And he will be taking my spot for a brief moment as Dario conducts a brief interview with him and just talks a little bit again about what's going on and how the status of the Yellow Jackets team is. So with that being said, in a few minutes you will be hearing that, as there is 14 minutes left to go in this first half of this game, with the score being 0-0.
Ooh, a shot from Ryan Hassel, just going wide as we see him burst out from midfield on a solo run and get off his first shot of the game. And as we mentioned, 4 players for Baldwin Wallace on 3 goals, with 3 of them being active now, Patrick O'Malley being out. And that's one of the things that we'll talk about with second season assistant coach Vince Milner, who is now joining me. Good evening, Vince.
Good evening, Dario.
So, firstly, what are your thoughts on the first half proceedings with just over 30 minutes having transpired now?
We as a coaching staff, we think that they're playing pretty well. We are a young team, and the shape that we're playing is a tad bit different from most of the players out there, but they've adapted and they're playing pretty well.
Yeah, and some notable changes in the starting lineup. I noticed that the senior, Zach Smith, is playing in midfield tonight. I just want to get an idea as to the thought process behind that and what you think he offers in midfield as opposed to in the center back position.
Well, we had held off putting Zach in the midfield for a little while because JT seemed to have a little knock, and we weren't sure how he was going to fare in the center of the park. But we think that he's doing pretty well back there tonight. And then we figured, why not let Zach go back to his natural position, in that center mid role. So we wanted to see him there. Also, the fact that last game Mike Smody had a concussion, so we needed to figure out how to stabilize that midfield.
Right, and I think you guys have addressed that problem very well. Zach playing wonderfully thus far in the midfield, and I think it gives the midfield more of an attacking edge, with some of the players who are out being more defensive-minded players. One of those players, namely Patrick O'Malley. Um, just a little bit as to what's going on with him. We saw him go down at a home game about a week and a half ago with an injury seemingly to the head. Is there any information that you could give me on that?
Yeah, he has suffered a broken cheekbone along with a concussion. So he will probably be out for the rest of the season, as we have been told by the team doctor.
And that's definitely sad to lose Patrick O'Malley, one of the players, the only player who's not a more of a forward player with 3 goals on the season. I remember him coming up with 2 huge ones early on. So he will definitely be missed. But I'm also told that Garrett McHugh may be having a further issue with that knee injury that he had in a previous game also.
Yeah, so he's been hitting had a knock on the knee a little while ago, but it didn't seem to bother him. And then unfortunately during practice on Monday he further injured it and seemed to maybe be something with the MCL, but we aren't entirely sure yet, as the doctor has to fully look him over.
Okay, so we'll keep our fingers crossed that he will be back. But Vince, other than that, do you want to give me a prediction on this game here tonight?
Prediction on this game, I think, especially the way our team's playing, we're putting them under pressure a lot, and I feel like the younger guys are really stepping up. So I'm going to say 1-0 us.
1-0 to BW. So that is Vince Milner's prediction, and we'll give him a chance to go back down into the dugout and formulate the plans here with, if you're just joining us at Tressel Field within the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University, it is your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets 0 and the Purple Raiders of Mount Union University 0, as we have just conducted an interview with a chance there for BW. Joey Reaney heading directly to the goalkeeper. But we just conducted an interview with assistant coach Vince Milner, who gave us some insight on some players missing out the team tonight and also some players included in the team tonight, leaving us with a 1-0 prediction. So, Vince, thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you, Dario.
Hopefully we'll be in contact in the future and we can get the win tonight.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night, Vince.
You too.
So 9 minutes left here in the first half. A foul by BW center back Adam Grove gives the Mount Union Purple Raiders a chance to serve the ball into the box here and hopefully come up with the first goal of this encounter from their perspective. Also like to welcome back my partner Dre Showers, who is back with us on the boards.
It's good to be back. Really close game so far.
Yeah, Purple Raiders on the attack now as they look to get the ball in from wide, playing through their number 19, Scotty Welker, who puts a cross in, but BW goalkeeper Zach Haynes gets his hand to it. And a follow-up header is picked up by the custodian, that header being from Steven Daggers. Mount Union controlling majority of the possession within the past 5 minutes or so, and but not necessarily getting any opportunities. So they'll be eager to turn some of that possession into chances. As a foul on Aaron Harden gives BW a chance to clear their lines here.
And as the first half nears, this will be the time that both teams really would like to go up on the scoreboard and take that numerical advantage with them to the half.
Oh, there's some worry there in the Mount Union defense. A chance almost falls to Joey Reaney. Attempted through pass by Zach Smith leads to a goal kick for the Purple Raiders. Some rough play here at midfield by both these teams. Ryan Hassel hasn't been able to get the ball to his feet as much as he probably would like to. When he did so, got some good opportunities, as we see an attempted pass by Nicholas Bernard. Just elude everyone and go out the next side of the field for a throw-in to Mount Union. Foul there on Nicholas Bernard by what looks like to me to be number 23, Brenton Lubbering of the Purple Raiders. Bernard now with the ball again. Cross by Aaron Harden. Comes to Nicholas Bernard as he has a shot, which he looked deflected to me, but looks like he just toe poked it over for a goal kick to the Purple Raiders. Good footwork by Spencer Cobb to get loose as he plays a long ball back to his goalkeeper. And with a minute left here in the first half, it looks like both teams are content to go into half with the score at 0-0. Definitely would prefer to get a goal and go into the half leading, but they don't seem too worried about the 0-0 scoreline currently.
No, they don't, but have a pretty good opportunity here on this free kick to maybe go up late before the half ends.
Aaron Harden here with 20 seconds left. Goes past two players. Plays a good ball into the direction of JT Tabernek, who had stayed up after that free kick. Only 3 seconds as the half comes to an end here at Tressel Field. And if you're just joining us here at the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University, it is your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets 0 and the Purple Raiders of Mount Union University 0. We will be back with you shortly with some statistics from the first half play here and the preview of what you can expect in the second half. Thank you for staying with us live here at bwyellowjackets.com. All right, we're back with you live here at bwyellowjackets.com from Tressel Field within the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University. And it is still your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets nil and the Purple Raiders of University of Mount Union nil. Just some quick first half statistics I have here in front of me. And the noteworthy one is 9 shots from Baldwin Wallace during that first period and 4 from the Mount Union Purple Raiders. So Baldwin Wallace noticeably more attacking here tonight. Although the Purple Raiders were able to forge a few chances, there was nothing significant that. Well, there was one opportunity that made me feel like they were going to score coming from number 3, Mitchell Tia, but Baldwin Wallace definitely enjoyed the better of the attacking play in that first period. It also shows slightly in the saves by the goalkeepers, as of those 9 Baldwin Wallace shots, there were 3 on target, all saved by custodian Dylan Leas for the Mount Union Purple Raiders, as the 4 shots from Mount Union resulted in 2 saves by Zach Haynes, the custodian for the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets. So Mount Union with the better in terms of shot accuracy, as they had 50% of their shots on target, Baldwin Wallace only having 33% of theirs. So it'll be exciting to see how these teams come out in the second half, with both coaches probably saying to their teams at halftime, hey, look, we can have a go in this game and possibly go home with all of the points. Remember, both teams coming into this game with a 1-2 OAC record, Baldwin Wallace being 4-8-2 overall, and Mount Union being 6-4-1 overall. And Dre, it's interesting to see the players who had shots on target in that first half as players that you don't usually see creating opportunities. So maybe just a positive note there for the Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets, seeing as their center back, Adam Grove, and their left back, David Elson, had shots on target in that first half.
They did, and you want to see shots coming from honestly anybody from the Yellow Jackets team at this point. They're like the lineup changes itself shows you they're looking for many different ways to be successful as this season goes on. So it's good to see players, especially young players like them, step up. And we also had a shot from, number 2, Joey Reaney as well. So maybe this half we're going to see that unsung hero come out and maybe put the team over the top. And with that being a perfect opportunity to try to get a win at home that's most desperately needed.
Yeah, with most of the regular suspects missing from this second half starting lineup, including junior striker Craig Wallace, who we haven't seen play as yet this evening. It will if it's something that's going to happen for BW, it'll almost have to be an unsung hero, with most, if not all, of the recognizable ones being out. And this second half starting much like the first one did, with both teams just switching possession and looking to get something going forward for themselves. BW corner kick served in. Comes back out to Brayton Thornburg, who looks to have a shot, which is deemed to have deflected and gone outside for another corner kick to Baldwin Wallace to be taken by captain number 7, Zach Smith.
And this will mark their 5th corner kick for the game, as Mount Union has yet to get a corner kick opportunity. So a lot of opportunities coming BW's way for sure this evening.
Second one cleared in similar fashion as the first. Mount Union attempting to break there, but the ball deemed to have gone out for a throw-in to Baldwin Wallace at half field. Spossit with a chance to cross. It's a little bit too close to goalkeeper Dylan Lias as he's able to pick it up and push his team forward. Tia almost creating a chance for himself up top there. Chance now for the Purple Raiders to break. Ball with Tia on the left-hand side. Good defense by the Baldwin Wallace midfield there.
You're starting to see the game tempo pick up a little bit as both teams now are looking in striking fashion to get ahead in this one. And if you're a fan of soccer right now, it's a very intense matchup and very exciting play all at the same time.
Yeah, both teams just looking to get some type of edge on each other here as we see the ball just moving up and down the field. Both teams creating half chances, getting stuffed out and running back in the other direction to defend. So soccer being played in good spirit and nature of the game here, with both teams looking to get a win here tonight. And if you're just joining us here at Tressel Field within the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University, it is your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets 0 and the Purple Raiders of Mount Union University 0. Baldwin Wallace on the attack here again. Game still being played in the same manner, with very open at midfield. Very open in midfield, and not much passing in that area, but the ball really being played in both attacking thirds. Some nice footwork there by the number 10, Johnny Akindipi, to eventually free his teammate Mitchell Tia in the 18-yard box, who is able to wiggle himself around one defender and draw the team a corner. Mount Union's first of the game here, to be taken by Ian Moorhead, the number 6. And a chance falls there to Scotty Welker, his third shot of the game. But it is eventually cleared by the Baldwin Wallace defense. So they have a throw in now.
And Scotty Welker has proven all game to be a threat in the box for this Purple Raiders team. But still, nobody has gotten on the scoreboard yet this evening.
All right, and one of the threats that BW may want to note for the Purple Raiders is Johnny Akindipi on 3 goals and an assist for the season. Will definitely be looking to get himself into this game. Looks like he's playing in a wide right position now, and either provide for his teammate Mitchell Tia or take on a chance himself and get his team a goal here. The Baldwin Wallace defense hasn't given up much here tonight. And anything that has produced a shot was really from in front of the defense, majority of the shots being long ones. So that's a positive for 14th season head coach Reed Ayers to look at and think, well, maybe it's okay to commit a few more players forward as we are doing quite fine on defense with the numbers that we have now. But as I mentioned, that Mount Union on the attack.
Oh.
And the good attack that is halted by a tackle by BW number 3, Adam Grove, to save his team maybe some perils there, as without his intervention there was the possibility of a one-on-one between Joe Winiecki and the BW goalkeeper Zach Haynes. Corner now. And that corner leads to a good chance on the back post for the number 3 Mitchell Tia, but he's just unable to, with his right leg, guide that ball back towards goal as he was moving at a very fast pace. BW, you must feel like a relief now with some pressure being on their back line for a little bit as they have a goal kick. BW now on the attack. Ball through for Ryan Hassel as he almost carves out a wonderful chance for himself on the counter attack. Receiving the ball there from Jeremy Faust and nearly getting himself a one-on-one opportunity with the goalkeeper, as it did not work out in the end. But BW remain on the attack. Hassel with the ball again. The crowd getting a little bit fired up with the challenge there of JT Tabernac on Mitchell Tia. But I think it was a fair one, as Tia returns the favor with a strong challenge on Tabernac, which is deemed an unfair one. And BW now have a free kick and a chance to serve the ball in and maybe get this first goal of the game. With 33 minutes left of regular time here in this encounter, extra time not at all being out of the question, as the game is currently at 0-0. Ball in by Brayton Thornburg, more of a shot, but gathered easily by goalkeeper Dylan Lias. Oh, and what Originally looked like a beautiful weighted ball by Zach Smith out wide left to Jeremy Faust. Turns out to be not such a great one as it rolls out for a goal kick to the Purple Raiders of Mount Union. Jeremy Faust with a decent cross in there for Brian Sposett, but the goalkeeper just reaches over Sposett and is able to clear. 31 minutes left here if you're just joining us from Tressel Field within the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University. And it is your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets nil and the Purple Raiders of Mount Union University nil.
And if you were wondering, this is exactly what conference play is supposed to look like. It's very gritty out there. Both teams giving it their all. And so much time is left, so anything can happen in a game of this nature. But something that you really got to commend is just the hustle from both teams, the opportunities that they're presenting each of their teams.
Definitely no lack of commitment here tonight from both teams, as we see a lot of running, especially for the midfield players, as the ball hasn't really been played on the ground in their area. Mitchell Tia now with the ball attacking for the Purple Raiders. Looking to draw the foul somewhat softly, in my opinion, there, as he attempts to go past Adam Grove. Tia unable to get himself free there, as a foul is called on him for some aggressive play, and Luke Westcamp will take the free kick for the Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets. JT Tabernac and Mitchell Tia getting into a slight altercation there once again, with Tabernac seeming to have thought Thea may have fouled him on the previous play, running back with his team in a dangerous situation there, and somewhat just throwing Tia to the ground as the referee brandishes his yellow card in the direction of the Baldwin Wallace player, JT Tabernac. So JT Tabernac cautioned with 28 minutes left in the second half of this encounter between your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets and the Purple Raiders of Mount Union. Who, and a wonderful free kick routine leads to a shot which flies wide, actually flies over the crossbar of Zach Haynes. That shot coming from the Purple Raiders defender, number 23, Brendan Lobbering, on the cross from Scotty Welker, the number 19, for the Mount Union Purple Raiders.
And that's the closest that Mount Union has gotten to a goal this evening. So, and that's twice that the free kicks have looked fairly well for them. They have a great routine working for them. So BW needs to be mindful of that and be careful not to foul this team and give them those opportunities going forward.
Yeah, and I think that's the closest either team would have come to the goal throughout this encounter. As we see JT Tabernac seemingly taking one to the lower abdomen area. I think just one of those manhood injuries, if you may. I think he'll walk it off and be okay.
Oh yeah.
We've all had one of those. Probably the worst pain in the world, but very temporary.
You know, that is something that I cannot agree more with you.
Yes, so we see the clock stopped here at 27 minutes and 23 seconds to go in the second half of this, the fourth OAC encounter for the Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets and the Purple Raiders of Mount Union University. Jeremy Faust at the ball for BW. As he looks to just have ran himself out of room and ran the ball out of play. As we see now a goal kick for the Purple Raiders. And now we finally see the introduction of Craig Wallace, who takes the field to replace Brian Spossit. And Spencer Cobb also enters the field, replacing Joey Reaney. Both of those players being freshmen. So it's interesting now with Craig Wallace, the leading points getter for the Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets, to play the last 26 minutes here. And surely the possibility of an attacking spark from him leading to a win for the Yellow Jackets. So interesting to see what type of work he puts in up front in the last 26 minutes of this game. Maybe being a tactic, for him to come in with maximum energy and create some chances.
Absolutely, and he is a guy that shows so much hustle out there, and I think that's his greatest attribute, really. He's high motor, and maybe he could set himself up for a BW leading goal. We still need one in this, as it is 0-0 with over 25 minutes to play in this game.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's the thought process of 14th season head coach Reed Ayers with the introduction of Craig Wallace this late. I would expect him to play the rest of this encounter. Ooh, two attempted crosses there by Ryan Hassel, cut out by the Mount Union defense, but both looking equally menacing.
And I have to say, this has been one of the most physical encounters that I've called this year, which makes for very exciting soccer. And, I mean, for the most part, it hasn't been over the top and something that has been an issue. It's something refreshing to see, especially for our team who's looking to get back on track and and finish out this conference play strong.
Yeah, very physical encounter here by both teams as we see some a little bit of fighting in the box almost between Craig Wallace and a few Mount Union Purple Raiders players as we see some pushing going on right right when we mentioned the physicality. Must be considered a wasted corner there by Brayton Thornburg as he kicks it directly out of play. So if you're just joining us here live at Tressel Field within the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University, it is your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets nil and the Purple Raiders of Mount Union University nil. 22 minutes or so left in the encounter. Good ball work by Baldwin Wallace to get themselves out of a bit of trouble there. Ball now wide with Ryan Hassel, who pulls a smooth move to go past his defender, but loses out on his route to goal. And Craig Wallace not really unable to get get the ball at his feet and create much for himself as yet, as I think he'll be eager to do so. And just about 20 minutes left here in this evenly contested OAC clash between the Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets and the Mount Union University Purple Raiders. And it's still 0-0 as both teams have created chances but haven't been able to finish.
Still plenty of time, however. And although this one still looks as evenly matched as it has in the beginning, that one opportunity or that one miscue by a team can break open this game. And, with over 19 minutes to go, that's very possible that will occur.
Yeah, and I think that's the key to these type of games is just to stay focused and not let the need to get a go-ahead goal get the best of you, and not leave your defense open to attacks from the other team. So both teams will need to remain resolute at the back here in their pursuit for a goal, as I think there is one or two goals possible here before the end of this game with about 19 minutes to go.
Whoa.
A shot there from the Purple Raiders being saved comprehensively by Zach Haynes.
And a beautiful one at that as he laid out for that one to keep this one at 0-0.
And no discredit to the goalkeepers because they have been also instrumental in keeping this game at 0-0 when they have been called into action. So, yeah, the teams have had been able to carve out clear-cut opportunities, but there have been some half chances put on target but saved by the goalkeepers. Baldwin Wallace now bring in Nicholas Bernard and Logan Davis to the game as we see Jeremy Faust and Ryan Hassel take a rest. Play just picking up in terms of pace here again with 15 minutes in the game as both teams are looking to create opportunities and get a go-ahead goal. Logan Davis with his first touch of the ball puts it wide for David Elson, who puts a good cross in though for Craig Wallace, but just cut out by Joe Winiecki, the freshman from Stowe. Luke Westcamp ball in again for Craig Wallace, but cut out. Zach Smith with a chance to have a shot, but it is blocked. Good tackle by Nick Newhart from Mentor, Ohio, as he stops David Elson from advancing.
Some more back and forth play going on right now. And a foul on number 15 of the Yellow Jackets, Luke Westcamp.
And that really gives Baldwin Wallace the opportunity to serve a ball into the box here. And maybe a chance for the taller players like JT Tabernac and Spencer Cobb. But Brayton Thornburg with another disappointing set piece, in my opinion, as he has a shot just picked up by the custodian from the University of Mount Union, Dylan Lias.
And Dylan Lias has had a very good game today with now 5 or 6 shots on goal. Has been able to successfully get all of them. So definitely have to give him a shout out too for his play this evening.
Both goalkeepers have been decent, to say the least, in this encounter so far.
And Spencer Cobb may have gotten away with a push there as the crowd reacted.
And it looks like the yellow card will come into play here once again as a foul on David Elson by the number 24, Stefan Daggers, the sophomore defender from Uniontown, Ohio. Just halts BW's attack in play. So Brayton Thornburg with another opportunity to serve a decent ball in from the set piece and give BW a scoring chance here with 12 minutes to go in this, their 4th OAC encounter of the season. And it's a better ball this time by actually not, as it just goes too long over all of his attacking players. So another disappointing set piece by Brayton Thornburg, and BW 14th season head coach Reed Ayers must surely be now thinking about replacing Brayton Thornburg, at least in terms of the set piece duties.
Absolutely. He's had numerous opportunities tonight to put BW in position to score and just hasn't been able to just get it done. As simple as that. And following, if there is another opportunity for them, it'll be interesting to see what Coach Reed Ayers decides to do in regards to the free kick.
Chance for BW to get something going attackingly there, but Logan Davis just has a somewhat wild shot go out for a goal kick to the Purple Raiders of Mount Union University.
And I think another manhood injury has occurred tonight too.
Yeah, Nicholas Bernard just
Bernard.
jogging it off there. Seeming to be hit on the attack. And if you're just joining us here at Tressel Field within the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University, it is your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets nil and the University of Mount Union Purple Raiders nil. 10 minutes left in the encounter here as a foul by Spencer Cobb is penalized with a free kick here in the defensive third for the Mount Union Purple Raiders.
And nothing makes trying to take an advantage in a game harder than beating yourself. And BW has been pushing off a lot this evening. Some have been, they have gotten away with, but it did come back to bite Spencer Cobb as he got called in the box where he could have had an opportunity to score there.
Yeah, and definitely. BW just want to more be looking to contain than to play aggressive here now, especially in that attacking third where their possibility is 2 carve-out chances. Ryan Hassel, Jeremy Faust, and Adam Zaretti enter the game now here with 7 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the encounter, replacing the entire front line, including Craig Wallace, who it should be noted only played about 15 minutes here tonight, coming into the game with about 25 left.
Ooh, nifty moves by number 12, Jesse Tinney of the Mount Union Purple Raiders. Trying to get them into the box and perhaps score a late goal.
And they are able to carve out the opportunity, but a weak wide shot just results in a goal kick for the Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets.
Crowd shouting handball on number 23, Brendan Lubering. Oh.
A studs up challenge there by number 2, Jacob Sutton on David Elson results in a yellow card for that player.
Very questionable decision making there by number 2, Jacob Sutton.
Yeah, and the crowd complaining that it's not a yellow card, but referee Joe Kuzma knows better, and that was a 2 foot studs up challenge, which is almost a direct yellow card, no matter whether you get the ball or not. Ooh, and a chance falls for Jeremy Faust coming from the head of Ryan Hassel, but his loop shot is picked up by goalkeeper Dylan Liaz. And Adam Zaretti, the number 18 for Baldwin Wallace, playing in his 7th game, got the assist last game in that 1-0 win, and will be eager to see what he could do here tonight.
Absolutely, with a little over 4 minutes to go in this half.
Yeah, 4 minutes and 30 seconds here to go in this encounter, of regular time at least, in this encounter at the Baldwin Wallace University. David Elson recovering well to cut out a chance for the Purple Raiders there. But they still have the ball, and they're on attack as they have a throw in deep into the Baldwin Wallace half.
Good passing and selfless play there by the Mount Union Purple Raiders to put themselves here as this game nears its end in regulation play. One of these teams, particularly Mount Union in this case, looking to go up here.
An attempted header saved by goalkeeper Zach Haynes as he looks to maybe push BW forward so that they can get this go-ahead goal. And with 2 minutes and 30 seconds or so left in this game, it is looking more and more like this game may go to extra time, with the game scoreless between Baldwin Wallace and the University of Mount Union.
Indeed, and quite frankly, I wouldn't mind extra time this evening, given how this game has gone.
Yeah, and this has been a very good game, especially for the neutrals. And I think that maybe both the teams wouldn't even mind extra time. Zarate with a chance now here, but the ball is cleared for a throw-in to Baldwin Wallace deep in their attacking third. Throw-in to be taken by David Elson, as I know he has a long one in his draw, and all the players are within the 18-yard box expecting that to be used. Ooh. Zach Smith rushing into the box, looking to take a shot on, but awkwardly runs into a Mount Union player, and it results in the medical team immediately being called onto the pitch. Also results in a yellow card for the BW captain Zach Smith with 1 minute and 24 seconds left on the clock in regulation time of this both teams' fourth OAC encounter. Those teams being the Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets and the Purple Raiders of the University of Mount Union. And it is all well and good as we see the player rise to his feet and looks like he will be able to continue here this evening. Eager to continue right away, as he had to be told to exit the field and wait for re-entry by the head referee here this evening, Joe Kuzma, who now waves the player back on as BW look to get forward. And Brayton Thornburg attempting to lead David Elson on an attacking play there, but just a miscommunication leads to the ball going out. And just about 10 seconds left here. So it looks like we will be playing extra periods of soccer here this evening as both teams now exit the pitch to get ready for extra time. So thanks for sticking with us here at bwyellowjackets.com, live at Tressel Field within the George Finnie Stadium at the Baldwin Wallace University. And we look forward to some more soccer here between the Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets and the Purple Raiders of the University of Mount Union, as the score is 0-0 at the end of regulation. We'll be back with you shortly with some statistics and a preview of what you can expect in the second half.
And overtime has just got underway here. BW looking for a strong attack out of the gate here. And just to catch you up to speed with what happened in the second half, Mount Union had 6 shots on goal, and Baldwin Wallace had 3 shots, and Mount Union really picking up the pace in that second half. Nevertheless, both teams remained at 0 at the end of the second half. However, Mount Union also got on the board as far as corner kicks are concerned, where they had 2 opportunities there, and Baldwin Wallace again with 3, like in the first half. So opportunities have certainly been there for both teams to score, but just haven't capitalized yet. And finally, as far as goalkeeping goes in this matchup, in the second half, Mount Union had 1 save, and Baldwin Wallace had 2. So total saves are deadlocked at 4 for both teams. So again, that pays into the idea of just how neck and neck this affair has been this evening on Tressel Field. With a little over 8 minutes to go, the score being 0-0 in this first overtime period. Since the period started, BW has been strong on the attack, but Mount Union's defense, like it has this whole game, has been able to disrupt the attack of the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets.
Yes, Dre, and I just want to note that although it's Baldwin Wallace that has been doing the majority of the attacking throughout the game, that it's the Mount Union Purple Raiders who have created the majority of the clear-cut chances, with one especially I remember falling to Ian Moorhead, their number 6, on a cross from Scotty Welker, who has himself had 4 shots tonight, with 3 of those being on target. So defensively, BW will want to remain as resolute as possible in their pursuit of this golden goal now to win this affair this evening.
And that's just it. Both teams looking for a win right now. It's do or die. I don't think either would be too satisfied with a tie at this point, given the fact they're both 1-2 in conference play. So, as this winds down, we'll see who steps up who doesn't.
Yeah, and I'm saying, from my viewpoint, I think that going 1-3 for both of these coaches here this evening will be out of the question. So I think they will remain strong at the back and not expose themselves too much to the possibility of giving up that golden goal. But they will definitely look to attack also and try to get the win. But I do think not losing is the most important thing for both teams here this evening at Tressel Field. And if you're just joining us, we're in our first period of extra time as your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets and the Purple Raiders of the University of Mount Union have been unable to score through what has now been 95 minutes of soccer action. And much of that rough play from the first 90 minutes of this game continuing here in the second period of extra time. Both sets of players just not afraid to get their foot in and play this game in a manner that is, I think, good for the nature of the game.
SBW again looks to go on the attack. And the defense for the Purple Raiders has been so consistent this evening.
Yeah, they have really dealt with majority of the questions that the Baldwin Wallace attack has asked them here this evening, and will hope to keep it that way going into the last 4 minutes of this, the first period of added time. Good work by the Purple Raiders there to make themselves some space in a tight situation, but ball ends up going out of play for a throw into them. Purple Raiders looking to attack here now. As and a great solo effort by the number 24, Stephen Daggers of the University of Mount Union.
Wow.
Purple Raiders leads to a goal for the Purple Raiders, which sees them sink the Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets by a scoreline of 1-0 here tonight, live at Tressel Field at the home of the Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets. And it must be noted that head coach Reed Ayers will be very disappointed with the manner in which that game ended, and that goal was scored with their team having been very solid at the back. And I just mentioned that not losing tonight would be the main aim of both of these head coaches. But surely Coach Carter Poe of the University of Mount Union Purple Raiders will be happy with the result, getting that win there. And we're going to take a very short intermission as we bring you some statistics from that 8 minutes of extra time, which may tell us something more about the reason why your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets are coming out of tonight's game defeated 1-0 at the hands of the Purple Raiders of the University of Mount Union. And the only statistic from that overtime period is that one shot by Steven Daggers on which he scored a goal to sink the Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets.
And he just made a really heads-up play there, just attacking the ball from the defensive side and taking it all the way himself, in which the BW defense then broke down. And again, we mentioned this earlier in the broadcast that we could see a goal as a result of the defense breaking down or a miscue. And that was the case this evening for the Mount Union Purple Raiders, taking advantage of that miscue by the Baldwin Wallace defense, and Spencer Dadges getting that goal to give them a much deserved OAC win, and just puts BW in a little bit of a worse spot, now falling to 1-3 in conference play.
Yes, and with that, we've come to what is the end of our broadcast here this evening with you. Your final from Tressel Field within the George Finnie Stadium on the campus of the Baldwin Wallace University being your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets 0 and the Purple Raiders of the University of Mount Union 1. The goal coming back from Steven Daggers in the 97th minute of play. A quick reminder, the Yellow Jackets are back in action on Saturday, October 17th, when they travel to Wilmington, Ohio, to take on Wilmington College in an Ohio Athletic Conference game at 7 p.m. Our next men's broadcast is on Tuesday, October 20th, when BW hosts Crosstown and OAC rivals John Carroll University at 7 p.m. I'm Dario Bathley, along with Dre Showers. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Our final, once again, is your Baldwin Wallace University Yellow Jackets 0 and the University of Mount Union Purple Raiders 1. Have a good night, and please join us for further broadcasts here at bwyellowjackets.com.